shadows where the silence speaks. I walk the line where the lost souls seek, with whispers of hope and a guiding light. I'll search the dark, bring the truth to light. I'm a seeker of the unseen, bridging worlds where the heart has been. With every heartbeat, every tear, I'll find the way, I'll draw you near. Through the echoes of the past I tread, unlocking stories of the words unsaid. With every vision I'll stand my ground. In the name of love, the lost will be found. I'm a seeker of the unseen, bridging worlds where the heart has been. With every heartbeat, every tear, I'll find the way, I'll draw you near. Hope is fading, I won't let go. I'll be your compass, your guiding glow. Together we'll break through the darkest night. For every lost soul, I'll bring back the light. I'm a seeker of the unseen, bridging worlds where the heart has been. With every heartbeat, every tear, I'll find a way, I'll draw you near. I'm a seeker of the unseen, I'm bridging worlds where the heart has been. Where the heart, with every heartbeat, every tear, I'll find a way, I'll draw you near. Draw you near. Through the echoes of the past I tread, unlocking stories of the words unsaid. With every vision I'll stand my ground. In the name of love, the lost will be found. Through the echoes of the past I tread, unlocking stories of the words unsaid. With every vision I'll stand my ground. In the name of love, the lost will be found. Through the echoes of the past I tread, unlocking stories of the words unsaid. With every vision I'll stand my ground. In the name of love, the lost will be found. When hope is fading, I won't let go. I'll be your compass, your guiding glow. Together we'll break through the darkest night. For every lost soul, I'll bring back the light. When hope is fading, I won't let go. I'll be your compass, your guiding glow. Together we'll break through the darkest night. For every lost soul, I'll bring back the light.
Hey guys, so I'm back with a new updated location video for Jack and Lily. Again, as you saw before, I try to make it easy. For all the ways to support me are down below and in the video before this. So, I want to explain a little bit about this because I've went back and I've refined the location. Law enforcement has the tip now in the refined location. Sometimes I go the wrong way on a map because I have an issue with direction. As I tell you guys, I'm not a map person. I try my hardest to be on a map when I can, but it does drain me. It does send me in multiple directions. And so I do want to explain how location works for me in these cases because it's not like reading a map again or dropping a GPS pin. When I track a missing person psychically, it comes in layers: images, energies, symbols, and emotional impressions. I see landscapes before I know where they are. I might feel a pull in a direction before I understand why, and not realizing when I'm on a map which direction that is. It's like this way, that way, that way, that way. Sometimes I get a name, a road, or landmark before it connects logically, and other times it's a terrain type, a curve in a road, cement, dry basin, ridge, or river. These clues come in like puzzle pieces, and work to align them with maps, astrology, and spirit guidance until the picture sharpens. But the process is never linear, and sometimes what I see isn't the final location. It may be a breadcrumb, a marker, or even deception laid by those involved. What matters is the pattern and the persistence. I follow the signal until it clicks. So, Garlock curve, there's an energy marker there. Whether it was traveled or whatever, I don't know. I was fixated on that curve. Also, I must have had my map flipped or something because it's not southeast. Southeast is the direction that we want to go according to the astrology. And in this one, I've had quite a problem connecting to the kids. I've had quite a problem getting information. And so I needed to take a break and step back and give it a little bit of time. This part of the gift I've come to understand as prophetic sequencing, where I receive truths before they manifest. I often pick up on places, names, or events days, sometimes weeks before they align in the physical world. It can be confusing to others to follow, but for me, it's a sacred timeline unwinding in real time. I don't force it, I follow it. So that doesn't happen in every case, doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes it does happen. And with world events and things like that, I don't really have control over it. It's just the way that I work. And in some cases, like Jack and Lily's, the energy is harder to track. Why? Because sometimes the trauma is too recent. Sometimes the deception is too thick. And sometimes there's someone actively working to bury the truth. So when children are involved, especially in situations where a caregiver is hiding something, allegedly, the spiritual static can be intense. There's grief, guilt, manipulation, and spiritual interference. All of that can blur the signal, can make things harder, and location is always hard. It's not easy. So if you've ever wondered why this case has evolved slowly or shifted direction, that's why. It's not guesswork, it's refinement. Because when you're speaking soul to soul, tracking trauma, and trying to follow the unseen, clarity comes through evolution, not perfection. So I always do the best that I can. All right, when I'm following things and I'm tracking things, and that's why I've tried to use the forensic astrology to bring it in tighter. Um, and I'm not an astrologist. I'm not a perfection. I don't know everything about that. I mostly use it for location, direction, miles, things like that. Um, and it helps me refine the area. And then if it matches what I'm seeing, then I try to go with that. The more that I got into this, actually, I was pulled back into it for a reason today. And so in the original phase of the case, I received, certain spots, specifically a curve. And again, I began to get fixated on Garlock curve. Now, whether that's an energy marker, a breadcrumb, they travel that direction, I don't know. There's definitely an energy anchor there. But due again to mapping limitations and not being from the area, I misinterpreted the direction and orientation. So I worked through the terrain more carefully. I recalculated the astrology, the direction corrected to southeast. It was southeast before, but I was going the wrong direction. I don't know if I had my map flipped or I was just so focused on the curve, I didn't realize I was in the wrong direction. It happens when you're tired, when you're drained, when you're working a bunch of cases and you're trying to get the information out. It happens because we're human. So, um, every time I've checked it, it's been southeast, but for some reason, I'm I'm dumb and I don't know which way southeast is. Apparently, I think I have the Garlock curve in my head because it just stuck out with me because I kept seeing a curve in the road and a curve in the road, and that could be at any time, right? It could just be that they traveled at a significant curve at some point. Um, and sometimes I tend to do that. I get tunnel vision, get focused on one area, and again, that could be an anchor point for whatever reason it may be. So this updated location matches the energetic imprint I felt from the beginning: wooded, shallow, and natural. It's not changing the story. It's about refining it until it's true. I'd rather correct myself and get it right than cling to the wrong direction out of pride. And again, as we go along, things get refined. Energy shifts and changes. I could be following a totally different energy signature. Um, but again, this is why I double check. I triple check. I try to continue to check the astrology because it has to be right. And I've explained that. And again, if you want to know how my gifts work, there's a link in the description box of a whole video about that because they don't work normally like other psychic mediums. So again, the revised location tip has been logged, and I wasn't going to share it, but I don't know if it's going to make a difference. And I feel like in case they don't listen, in case they don't follow through, maybe I should put it out. I'm not going to put the coordinates, but I'm going to put the area. Um, and again, I did hear basin in the last reading. Now, I'm not saying they're not in water, okay, in my opinion. From the astrology, from what I feel, they're not in water. Things can be interpreted in different ways in a chart from my understanding, but it's not coming across that way, okay? Off the road, wooded area, and then like maybe not completely flat. Like there might be hollows in the area or places that kind of dip. The area that I'm looking at does have a spot that kind of looks like, so I get markers. So, you can get a basin, a river, uh, a lake, whatever. So this area that I'm looking at is considered a basin because a basin is like a natural depression or dip in the land, often lower than a surrounding terrain. It can collect water like a lake or just hold moisture, cooler air. Not all basins are filled with water, so some are dry, wooded, or even grassy hollows. Um, so south of Dryden Lake, off Dryden Lake Road, is a curving lowland area that dips between gentle ridges. The contour of the road and the land curves around the area which I've pinned, which often indicates a natural hollow or scoped out landscape. So even without full topographic lines, this shape and placement relative to the lake suggests it's part of a drainage basin. So the land channels water toward Dryden Lake even if it stays dry during certain reasons. So, and I've stated that there's hollows or whatever around. Now, I always feel like they're just in a wooded area covered with leaves. There might be dips. So they could be in a little natural hollow or something like that. But I feel like not far from the road. You get out, you take them, you rush. And I always feel like she rushed to get there and back. Now, I did find out recently that they have a SUV. So, although I'm looking at the road and I'm thinking police are probably not thinking this is right because of the way that the road is, it makes sense because you're going to put them somewhere where they're not going to be found. They might not want to search where they could get there on their own. And if they have the kind of terrain vehicle where they could get there, they know the roads, it's still possible. So this is where the astrology is clicking at. And I wasn't gonna I'm just gonna share the image of where the astrology is pinning. And it's again southeast direction, about 4-ish miles. It's like 4.87 kilometers, 3 miles. It's on the left side of the road, and on the right side is like a basin type area, and it's off of Dryden Lake Road. That's where the astrology is pinning. And because there was a basin there, it kind of pinged a little bit. So this is my best refined location for now. I don't think it's going to change because this is where the astrology is hitting. Again, I had turned in the tip and I wasn't sure if I was going to put it out, but in case they don't act on it because the way they acted, I don't know. I mean, it could be multiple things. It could mean yes, no, I don't know. And if they do act on it, at least the validation is there. But I kind of did not want to really put the coordinates, because if anybody sees this that's relevant to the case, might be like, oh shoot, we better go move something. But I'm not sure that they would risk that at this point because I feel like they're being watched. And everything still stands in the astrology about what I said in my first video about and that might be again why it's kind of hard to connect in the way that things happen and transpired. And I saw it, then it confirmed in the astrology chart. So I'm gonna add the picture here. Before I do that, again, I want to say alleged, but if you haven't seen the first reading, that's what I feel happened. I don't want to go back into that because that was a tough thing for me. So I usually can separate myself from it, but also I just don't need to repeat that part. So that's all in the first video about what I feel happened with drowning and smothering, which again transpires in the chart and can be a reason why they're hard to reach. And there's such a fog on this case because of all the lies and manipulation and everything going on as well. So it's a little hard for me to read. I'm struggling to read it. So hopefully this astrological location is right. The fact that it's matching what I'm seeing, and it's sort of a random area, but it might be an area they know, depending on how well they know the area, which I feel like they do. And I know people have asked, can I just, look on a map and pin it? And my gifts don't really look like that. I get pulled in all different directions for different reasons. Again, that's why I try to use the astrology. It's mostly description and direction, and that's how I usually feel when I'm trying to do locations. So this is about 3 something miles or so. And I'm going to show you a different one so that this is a different kind. So here's Dryden Lake Road, and there's that. Okay, I wasn't going to share the coordinates, but that's it. So I just wanted that's what I've submitted. Hope that's right. I don't know if they've searched that area. When I asked today, I just got a reply like, "Okay, tip's been updated." And I explained to them I'm not from the area. The maps are confusing, etc., etc. So, my process is not perfect, and I am human, and I just try to evolve with the way that the energy evolves, and the more that I look at a case and the more I refine things. So that's why I do multiple videos on things. That's why I try to also explain how I work. So hope that all of that made sense, and make sure that you hit the like button on the way out.